Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals is at Northwest Whitfield tonight as the Bruins welcome in the Heritage Generals. Hello, everybody. Alongside Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson, I'm Chris Goforth. Glad to have you with us tonight. Scott, we're going to get a look at a couple of 4-1 teams squaring off tonight, but maybe two of the best offenses in North Georgia.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been pumped all day long. This is going to be a nice quarterback battle, of course. You had to slaughter the running back for Heritage, so he's one of the better running backs in our area. But, boy, both of these teams like to throw it around. Caden Height, the quarterback for Heritage, has put up some tremendous numbers. And I don't think there's anybody hotter than Gavin Knuckles, Northwest Whitfield's quarterback, coming in the last couple of weeks. He has just been on fire. So this ought to be a tremendous match. Could end up as a track meet at some point in time, but I expect a bunch of points on the board for this one.
A couple of offenses that each average 30 points a game or better we'll see tonight. For more on this matchup, let's go to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by. She's got a look at tonight's CHI Memorial Keys to the Game.
Thanks, Chris. And let's take a look at what each team needs to do to get the win tonight. For Heritage, they want to contain Northwest QB. They want to eliminate mental mistakes, and they want to win the turnover battle. For the home team, Northwest wants to limit big plays on defense. They want to offensively be consistent, and just like Heritage, they also want to win the turnover battle.
All right, thank you very much, Mackenzie and Scott. That's something both coaches talked about this week. The key word was consistency. We'll see which team can be consistent. We've got our coin toss and our kickoff coming up. It's Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Back to Northwest Whitfield after this. Back at Northwest Whitfield, Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson as we are set for tonight's coin toss. As the Tennessee Army National Guard joining us this season as always to bring you tonight's coin toss as Heritage has won the toss. Northwest Whitfield won the toss, and they will defer, so we'll see Heritage get the football first to start things, Scott, and we'll see a Heritage offense that, of course, we saw them earlier this season in their lone loss. That was against Ringgold, but it's an offense putting up 30 points per game. You mentioned Braden Slaughter earlier. He has been fantastic. I think you go back to that game against Ringgold in which we saw Heritage, I think something like 10 out of the first 12 plays. Braden Slaughter got the football.
Yeah, I mean, he's their stud. He's their workhorse. There is no question. And actually, when we talked to Coach New, Jeremy New, who's their first-year head coach at Heritage, he used the word most influential. So I think it's not even really about football. Obviously, he's talented, 5'11", 215. He can be a workhorse. but I think as what he projects with his teammates, the attitude, the work ethic, the whole thing is really what Braden Slaughter's all about. And I thought that was interesting. Most influential player on the team.
Big night here at Northwest Whitfield. In addition to it being homecoming, they are celebrating 50 years of Northwest Whitfield High School. All of the former players have been invited back. They had dinner for the former players and their families before the game tonight. And matter of fact, the band is out on the field. That also includes some alumni members of the band. So a lot happening tonight as they celebrate 50 years of the Bruins.
And here comes the Bruins onto the field. Really a cool, and we had it's back-to-back homecoming games. We had homecoming in East Ridge last Friday night, so it'll be fun, festivities, and a lot of folks that are celebrating 50 years of Northwest Whitfield High School. It's another cool thing to be a part of here tonight.
A couple of things we need to point out here early on. Injuries, a factor for both of these sides. Cody Bryant, who is the outstanding receiver and defensive back at Heritage, he will not go tonight. Dislocated his left elbow against Gordon Lee. They're going to get him back at some point in time this year, but you're talking about an all-state wide receiver that will not be on the field to start things for Heritage.
Right, and on the other side, Jacob Lee, who you saw at the coin toss there, his injury has set him back, a really good, solid linebacker for the Bruins of Northwest Whitfield.
Number 10, Cohen Fletcher.
Braden Stoker, Cohen Fletcher, Logan Cheatwood, the three men back deep.
All have possessed tremendous speed.
And we're going to see Neri Martinez kick it off. We may see two kickers tonight for Northwest Whitfield. They've had two different guys that have handled kicking duties for them this year, including Neri Martinez. He was hurt in the first game, suffered an MCL sprain against Cahulla Creek, so this is his first bit of action since back in game one. So Martinez has it teed up, and we are ready to get it underway with our Aspire Dental kickoff. And on the return, it was Cohen Fletcher. Fletcher gets out to the 20-yard line.
Great team pursuit by Northwest Whitfield, and Landry Gray, 34, was the first one to get him down, but there was plenty of teammates around, so they really start off on special teams not giving Heritage much here.
Let's get a look at your Hep Cooling starting offense for the Generals. Caden Height, the quarterback. Scott mentioned Braden Slaughter, big and strong. And then Braden Stoker, again, we mentioned there's no Cody Bryant in this offense. Braden Stoker last week, 140 receiving yards. He added another 30 rushing. And it's an empty set for Caden Height in the backfield. Now they'll shift. As Slaughter joins him in the backfield in a tight formation. And it's Slaughter. As a penalty flag comes out, Slaughter gets out to the 25-yard line. So we'll see what the call is here. That offensive line for Heritage, same five guys have started all season.
Illegal formation on the offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
So that'll wipe off the gain of 5, and the football will go back to about the 15, 16-yard line. So Heritage headed in the wrong direction early.
A lot of times you see all those shifts and things like that, and it does get confusing to the defense, but sometimes confuses themselves too. So have to take that penalty and try to overcome it right out of the gate here in this game.
Quick screen thrown to the far side. Short hops the intended target, and Stoker.
Number 2, Stoker.
Stoker's a guy that can do some things. Here's your Northwest starting defense. Lucas Amos is a guy at linebacker that has really been one of the best blitzing linebackers in the history of Northwest Whitfield and can be dominant at times.
So when we did the Northwest Whitfield game a season ago, Lucas Amos was our player of the game.
That's
Scott,
right.
If you remember that game, he had about 30 tackles.
Yeah, he's a stud. He can dominate. He can take over a game.
That's what he did. That's what he did a year ago. Here's the snap back again. Height looks to throw. Pop fly downfield, overshot his target in Stoker, and an incomplete pass.
Stoker very quick and athletic, just a A little bit overthrown on the pass. Stoker, there he is, 6'2", 190. Runs a great route. Got behind the defender a little bit. Just too much arm strength for Caden Height.
3rd down and 15. So, Scott, look, I think one of the interesting matchups tonight is going to be the wide receivers for Heritage going up against the secondary of Northwest Whitfield. Josh Robinson told us he thought the secondary is the strength. He said he thought this was one of the most talented, physical, and disciplined groups in the secondary they have ever had.
Discipline, the key word there.
3rd down and long for the Generals on their first possession. Height. Quick throw, and it's incomplete.
Big pressure.
Going for Foster.
Just a little bit behind Caden Foster, the junior. Another tall, rangy wide receiver at 6'1", 170. So Northwest Whitfield's defense holds Heritage to basically nothing this first possession.
Kyle Cummings is back deep along with Cade Parker. Both of these guys can run. Cummings is an interesting one. He is a wide receiver. He'll play defensive back. He'll also punt. He's a kid that's not going to leave the field often. Jake Collette gets away a high kick. And it takes a Heritage bounce and watch it go out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. 11:24 remaining in this first quarter as we get a look at the Northwest Whitfield offense. Gavin Knuckles having not just a fantastic season, having a fantastic career, a 3-year starter. Both head coaches used the same words when talking about Gavin Knuckles this week. It was special. A special player is Gavin Knuckles, and he's got a handful of guys he can throw it to, including Kyle Cummings, who we just talked about.
And so special that Coach Josh Robinson mentioned that he's one of those guys that the coaches listen to him. You know, they're going to want his input when he comes back on the sideline to what they want to do for the rest of the game. I mean, he's a coach on the field, basically, with all his experience.
Evan Jones on the sweep around the right end. Jones gets shy of the 40-yard line before he's tripped up.
Brody James on the stop for Heritage. There's Brody James, a safety for the Generals. Kane Romano, another guy up front defensively that's really good at 6'3", 270.
Those outside linebackers, Thacker and Hayes, their first year as starters. They feel like Gerald Page, guy you mentioned, Scott, they think by the time he's a senior, he could be really something special. Here's Knuckles on the keeper. Picks up the first down, shy of midfield.
Looked like a busted play, too. Either that or a really low snap. Running back looked at Knuckles and just there you see him pick it off the turf. Finds space and runs. I mean, this guy can do it all.
Well, Josh Robinson talked about it this week with us in that there a few more runs for Gavin Knuckles this year. And here he is with time to throw, and he's got a receiver wide open. Cade Mitchell to the end zone. Touchdown, Bruins.
Nice throw and catch. Mitchell on the receiving end. Cade Mitchell, best hands on the team, coach tells us. Coming in at 4 catches for 170 yards, 3 TDs. That was last week. I mean, these guys are putting up some points, man. They are hot. One of the hottest offenses in our tri-state area, you know, the teams that we cover, and I think it showed you why right there.
All right, so the last 2 games for Heritage, Scott, they've ran 54 offensive plays, and they've scored 11 touchdowns. Let's update that stat.
Isn't that crazy?
How about 55 offensive plays and 12 touchdowns?
I mean, I'm telling you, they are red hot.
Here's Bo Broderick on to attempt the extra point. And Broderick's kick is good. And Northwest Whitfield takes a 7-0 lead. 10.5 to go. Cade Mitchell running wide open into the end zone. Back to Northwest Whitfield. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
watched our grandson. He'll be 5.
Be sure to stick around for our halftime report presented by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have this week's Scholar Athlete as well as a look at first half highlights. That's all coming up on our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. It is homecoming at Northwest Whitfield, so it will be a little bit of an extended Big Woody's Tree Service. By the way, speaking of halftime, we have to tell the story on our friend Josh Robinson, the head coach at Northwest Whitfield. His daughter is in the homecoming court, so Coach is going to have to hightail it into the locker room at halftime, don a suit, race back out to escort his daughter onto the field, and then race
there
off.
There he is. I love it, man.
Put his coaching attire back on and be ready to go to start the third quarter. I said, Coach, why can't you go, the old school Vince Dooley, Pat Dye look
right
with
on
a
the
shirt and
sideline.
tie?
Right.
And he's like, man, I'm too sweaty for that during the game. He said, I can't do that. It's a short kick taken by one of the up men at around the 30-yard line and finally wrangled out of bounds. It was Caden Foster who made the catch. Foster up to about the 35-yard line. Had a good time with both of these coaches this week. I think Josh Robinson, a guy that we've gotten to know, Scott, from spending time with him over the years, you and I doing these games, and it's always look forward to Northwest Whitfield because Coach is he's a lot of fun to talk to.
He is, man. He's such a great guy, down to earth, and just kind of tells you the cool stories that we want to hear, right? We want to turn those around and give those to the viewer and let you get to know some of these people. They're not just football players and coaches out there doing a great job, but, they're people too.
Screen thrown up top, complete. Picking his way through traffic. A gain of about 3, maybe 4. Stoker made the catch.
Stoker on the catch and a lot of contact, but he does pick up a pretty decent amount of yardage, 4 yards or so, and always moving forward. See that little screen to the side? Look, 3, 4, 5, 6 people before he goes down. Stoker's somebody that they can really rely on. Not just a receiver, too. He'll run the football as well out of the backfield sometimes.
Well, we mentioned it last week when we were talking about this game, the fact that we're going to see 2 of the better quarterbacks in our area, Caden Height and Gavin Knuckles. Here comes Slaughter. Hard charging straight ahead for a first down and across the 45-yard line goes a bullish Braden Slaughter. He squats 515 pounds for crying out.
Max Harrison on the stop, I know, and they said, well, he could probably go higher, but they're like, we don't want to hurt it. He doesn't want to, we can't have him hurt. Are you kidding me? But, yeah, you can see the power that Slaughter has just in that run right there.
Jeremy New in his first year, guiding the Heritage program as the head coach at least, but he's been around this program since they opened the doors. First as an offensive coordinator under Tim James, and then for a long time as the defensive coordinator under E.K. Slaughter. And here goes Braden Slaughter again around the left end, picks up 3 before being upended.
Max Harrison again, a guy that Coach called him a hunter, and he cares deeply about the success of Northwest Whitfield. Number 7 right there, Max Harrison, the junior.
And Harrison playing corner this season. They say next year they're going to move him to safety, Scott, because you talk about how physical he is, and watch him going in with the shot on Slaughter.
Loves that contact.
Second down and 8, 8.5 to go, first quarter. Heritage with a 3 and out on their first possession. Height on a rollout. He will turn it loose and overthrows Colin Fletcher.
Pass intended, number 10.
Height's got a cannon now. We've seen that twice, but Colin Fletcher goes a little bit behind the defense, but just couldn't obviously catch up to the football.
Well, that brings up now a third down and 8 for Northwest Whitfield. Jeremy New, his father was a football coach, said they moved a lot as a kid. He was born in St. Petersburg, Florida. Ended up graduating and playing quarterback at Carrollton. Later went on, played in college, and then came to Heritage as Tim James started that program at Heritage, as we've got a timeout that is asked for by the Generals. So Heritage on a third down wants to talk it over here with 8:19 remaining in this first quarter. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson. Glad to be with you tonight on Homecoming from Northwest Whitfield.
Yes, I mean, just what a really good atmosphere. The folks are really excited about Homecoming, the 50-year celebration, just a whole lot of stuff going on here. And what a tremendous Region 7 3A game. I mean, both these teams are the leaders in that region. So winner here tonight is going to have a leg up for the championship. We're already about halfway into the regular season.
Both teams 4-1. Northwest Whitfield, their lone loss was a 21-13 setback against North Murray, while Heritage, we had them earlier this year here on Friday Night Rivals, and they lost to Ringgold 21-16.
And they had about 3 times as much yardage as Ringgold, but they just didn't beat them on the scoreboard. That was a frustrating game for the Generals.
That was a game, Scott. If you remember, Braden Slaughter had almost 100 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Right.
Here's Height. Back to throw again, taking a shot downfield, and it goes off the fingertips of Cohen Fletcher. 4th down and 8.
Well, you got to come up with both hands on that football, I believe, that play. Not to say that Cohen Fletcher, who, of course, if you remember way back at the beginning of this year, had 7 catches for 154 yards and 2 TDs versus Lakeview Ford Oglethorpe. So he can do some things, but I'm not sure you needed to try the one-handed stab on that one.
For Northwest Whitfield, Kyle Cummings, Cade Parker back to return the punt from Jake Collette, and Collette gets away a beautiful spiraling kick.
Wow, look at that bounce.
And it heads into the end zone for the touchback.
Too much.
And we've got a penalty flag that has been thrown. We'll sort it out after the break. 8:02 to go. First quarter. We'll return to Northwest Whitfield. After this, Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. Northwest Whitfield with a 7-0 lead over Heritage. The Generals just punted. There was a penalty flag on the punt. It was a personal foul penalty against Heritage. So that will, it was against Northwest Whitfield, excuse me. So that will be half the distance to the goal. So the ball will move back to the 10-yard line. And that's where Northwest Whitfield starts with a 1st down and 10. All right, coming up after our game tonight, we've got Penn and Teller, and followed by Totally Funny Animals. That's happening tonight after the game here on the CW Chattanooga. Expecting a good one in this one. 2 teams off to 4-1 starts, as Scott talked about. A couple of teams battling for the top spot in their region. And Northwest Whitfield will start backed up deep. There's a 3-play scoring drive and a 52-yard touchdown pass for the Bruins to take the lead. That came on their first offensive series. Here's Knuckles from inside the 5, and he will gun it. An incomplete pass shy of the 20.
Intended for Corbin Bates. Corbin Bates, the wide receiver, and it hit him in the hands. It's pretty on target as far as the throw goes, just slipped out of his hands. Coach Josh Robinson was telling us this week about how the chemistry with the wide receivers, they're such a super close group. They all hang out and they all play basketball, including Gavin Knuckles, the quarterback. So they, teammates on other sports here at Northwest Whitfield, but just the chemistry and the friendship, and they're tight-knit closeness in that wide receiver room is something special.
Here's Knuckles again. Finds some time. And incomplete pass. He's going back for Bates.
Almost the same play there, but again, just not as accurate on the second throw.
Scott, you mentioned at the top about Jacob Lee going out as the captain to represent Northwest Whitfield tonight. He was injured in their game last week against Gilmer. Tore his ACL. He's out for the year. They beat Gilmer on a game that was moved to Saturday. Knuckles again taking a deep shot. Overthrows his intended target at around the 45-yard line. And once again, he is aiming for Corbin Bates. So it's 4th down, and out comes the punt team. Kyle Cummings will kick it away. First time we've seen Northwest have to punt. With as fast as both teams want to play, Scott, and as much as they both like to throw it, we're going to see a lot of possessions in this game.
I think you're right.
Cummings will punt from his own end zone.
Well, we've already got 4 possessions, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter. So
Corbin Bates, Kyle Manning, the return men.
Lined up right about the 50-yard line.
We've got a whistle and a flag. And this may be motion against Northwest. They may be backing up further.
Encroachment against the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Goes against Heritage. So move it up 5 yards, and they'll punt again. Kyle Cummings averaging about 37 yards a punt. A little bit of breathing room now, still inside the 5 as he awaits this kick. Gets a nice bounce, middle of the field.
Whoa.
And scary situation, picked up on the hop by Bates, and he's buried back at around the 45-yard line.
Guess who? Lucas Amos. You mentioned him as our last time we were here, which was the opening night of 2024. He was our player of the game, had like crazy 30 tackles or something like that against Dalton. But you see the almost the punishment right there. Almost gets the ball loose from Braden Stoker. Well, that would have been a huge mistake if the Bruins could have capitalized on that one. But Heritage gets the football in tremendous field position.
Scott, if you were to paint a picture of what a linebacker looks like, you would paint a picture of Lucas Amos. Here goes Slaughter. He finds some room. Slaughter across midfield to the 45. A pickup of 9 on 1st down.
Amos got that the modern day neck roll. If it were 1982, he'd have one of those big fat ones around there like those, like Bosworth and those guys back in the day. I mean, he's just a physical type athlete who right there makes the tackle again. But talking about physical, Slaughter gets a really nice chunk of yardage, about 9 yards on that run for the Generals.
Second down and short. A high snap. And here goes Slaughter. 1st down. It's inside the 45-yard line. Down to about the 42.
Dude's flying everywhere. Wahid Arnold was one guy on the stop. He's a first-year starter, 53 for the Northwest Whitfield defensive line. There's Wahid Arnold.
They've got about 6 defensive linemen that they will rotate. Got to keep those bodies fresh up front. Heritage trailing by a score. Generals putting a drive together. Slaughter cannot escape Lucas Amos, who will hold on and ride him down after a short gain. Heritage offensively averaging 30 points a game. They put up 51 against Christian Heritage. Tagged 30 on Ridgeland last week. This Northwest Whitfield defense is allowing 22 points per game. Now, They had a shootout with Dalton and won 62-42. That's been the most number of points they've given up this season.
Talk about possessions. There you go.
No kidding. Height on a rollout. Short throw. Slaughter to the 30 and a first down.
Run out of bounds, but not until he picks up a nice chunk of yardage for Heritage. Let's take another look at it here. Hep cooling replay. See him, not many defenders around him at that point. Gets the contact, knocked out of bounds by Walker Jones.
Scott, we often hear the phrase complete back when teams talk about running backs. I think that's what you have in Braden Slaughter, a guy that can run it, he can catch it. If you need him to throw a block, he can do that too.
Yeah, and the coach's son, obviously the son of E.K. Slaughter, who was the coach at Heritage for years and resigned last year, and Jeremy New took over.
They go on the ground again. Running straight ahead, it's Cole Pritchett. Pritchett gets inside the 25.
Pritchett comes in and spells Slaughter. Pritchett is a freshman running back there, 31. Getting his opportunity to get an important carry. Makes a nice little stutter step to the left and then finds the hole for some really good yardage.
Braden Slaughter has gone into the medical tent, getting some attention on his leg. Looks like maybe he has a cut on his leg, a little bit of blood. Get him wrapped up and get him back out there. Slipping out of two tackles. Look at the young man go. The freshman in Cole Pritchett.
I like the way he stayed on his feet after that contact too. That's usually the biggest difference between, a ninth grader, freshman, and like a junior, senior, upperclassman is a little bit stronger, a little bit more time in the weight room. But look at him bounce off tacklers, man. Keeping his feet, great balance. Great balance.
And with
Pritchett.
With Braden Slaughter being a senior, a young man that's going to get plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, he
next
is
year.
Definitely the dude for next year.
He stays in there with Height in the backfield. Fresh set of downs. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Height to Stoker. Stoker gets inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone, picks up a couple of yards to about the 17, maybe the 18.
Defended well by Kyle Cummings, the cornerback. You see he kind of sheds off the blocker right there, sheds him, and then makes the tackle himself. Little help from his buddies, but that was well played by Kyle Cummings, the 6 foot, 160-pound junior for Northwest Whitfield.
Slaughter's all taped up. He's back in the game now for Heritage. They bring Stoker in motion across the formation. He's at the top of your screen. Height with the give. Slaughter sweeping around the right side. Slaughter to the 10, to the 5, bumped out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at around the 1, call it the 3-yard line. And we've got a penalty flag.
Holding on the offense. In-yard penalty.
Looked like it was the right side of the offensive line, just trying to contain get an edge for Slaughter. But they had that counter play, which looks like everybody's going to head to the left, and then all of a sudden he hands it off to Slaughter, and Slaughter cuts it right. Just got caught up in a little bit too much handful of jersey there on the offensive line for Heritage.
Sets up now a 2nd down and 17. Ball will move out of the Dr. Pepper maroon zone. Back to the 29-yard line. On the slant, caught, down to the 20. It was Cohen Fletcher that made the catch.
Kyle Cummings on the stop, but the thing there is just how much time Caden Height had. Talking about that offensive line, boy, they gave him plenty of time on that play. He found the wide open receiver. Let's take another look at it. He's just kind of just standing back there and finds Cohen Fletcher for a pretty big gain. Back to the original line of scrimmage, or a little bit past it.
Yeah, sets up a 3rd down and 9. at the 20. Jeremy New with a lot of praise for his offensive line. He said, we've had the same 5 guys start all season. He said that is a very, very solid group of guys. Height will gun it over the middle, incomplete. No penalty flags, going for Stoker. And he brings up a 4th down. 9th play of this drive coming up for Heritage as you get a look at it on the replay.
Just well defended. I mean, that's, he threw it maybe a little bit in front of him, but Northwest had that good old bracket coverage on him, and then it really wasn't open, to be honest with you. So
37 yards on the field goal attempt for Jake Collette. And Collette will drive it and missed it to the left.
Collette's kick is no good.
We talked about Collette. He's a Texas commit, and if you remember, he missed, the 2 field goals that he tried against Ringgold. One of them he missed. The other one was like a 57-yarder, and they blocked it. But he has got a strong leg, but he has had some consistency issues this year. He was 31 of 31 on extra points last year, and has still done well on extra points. But that's I know he's saying to himself, I make that all the time in practice. I just don't know why I pulled it that time. But he's got a booming leg. I mean, the folks that Texas Longhorns don't come after you in the state of Georgia unless you can kick it, and he can kick it.
So Northwest Whitfield takes over after the miss, and this is Knuckles on the keeper.
Look at him run.
Gavin Knuckles shows off the wheels. He gets out to the 45. Nice run for Knuckles. He goes 23 yards. Well, a 3-year starter at quarterback. Over 5,000 passing yards in his career. Over 60 touchdown passes. And that was something Josh Robinson told us this week, that they turning him loose, letting him run a little bit. Here he is with an empty backfield. Comes up throwing, finds the open man, cross midfield at the 45. Kyle Manning down to about the 40, call it the 43-yard line, and a 1st down.
Brody James and a bunch of Heritage guys on the stop there, but going back to Knuckles, with him running, he comes in this week, 40 carries on the year, 479 yards. This is just on the ground. 6 touchdowns, averaging 12 per catch, 12 yards per carry, I should say, for Gavin Knuckles. That time a little bit, it was well defended by Caden Foster, first of all.
Yeah, nearly intercepted by Foster.
They go into hurry-up mode, and you see Knuckles just not afraid to sling it all over the yard. Boy, Foster almost had a nice pick.
Defense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
All right. The Bruins side of the stands really like that call, of course.
That brings the football down to the 33-yard line in General's territory. You mentioned Gavin Knuckles. That was something Jeremy New, the head coach at Heritage, made a point about. As a matter of fact, that was the first thing he told us. He said he's a special player. He feels like Knuckles and the quarterback at Calhoun may be the 2 best players in this region. As they go on the ground to the 30-yard line.
You're talking about Trace Hawkins with Calhoun, and he's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
He started as a freshman and took his team after a couple lumps early all the way to the state championship and won the ball.
Gage Parker getting the carry. Parker, a transfer from Cleveland, arrived at Northwest Whitfield a season ago, wasn't eligible to play until playoff time last year, so was not able to contribute much, but they're excited about what he brings. Here comes Knuckles again to the left side. A couple of blockers out front. He'll tiptoe down the near sideline before being angled out of bounds.
Going back to Gage Parker, you mentioned his Cleveland transfer, but Coach Robinson's had a ton of experience at the running back position is what he brings. So you don't have to, even though he's fairly new to Northwest Whitfield, he's been doing this for a long time. So he's a guy they can rely on. And then you pair him with a guy like Gavin Knuckles, and it's success everywhere you go. So far, so good this year with a 4-1 record and 1-0 in the region.
Back inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone. Here goes Parker. Inside the 15, Gage Parker with positive yardage. Well, you talk about the running quarterback. Talked with your friend and mine, Rusty Wright, the head coach of the Chattanooga Mocs this week, and he said one thing that a running quarterback does is it forces you to play 11 on 11.
Right.
You know, otherwise you're playing 11 on 10 because you got your quarterback as that 11th guy standing back there. He said when he runs, he goes, you got to play 11 on 11.
You don't have that spy guy that's an extra defender. Well, Knuckles took a shot after the play there, but nothing was called.
Final few seconds of the first quarter tick away. We've played one at Northwest Whitfield on homecoming. The Bruins with a 7-0 lead. They look for more against Heritage. We're back with the start of the second quarter. After this, Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Tonight's halftime report is brought to you by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have a recap of the first half of action here at Northwest Whitfield. Plus, catch up with our friends, the Tennessee Army National Guard. All of that is coming up later on. We've got to get through this second quarter first. We'll get to the Big Woody's Tree Service. Going to crown a homecoming queen here at Northwest Whitfield tonight.
That is right. You know, we used to joke Corvettes or Camaros.
Second down and
It
5
seemed
for
like
the
we'd
Bruins.
choose one or the other. Occasionally Mustangs. But last week we had Jeeps at East Ridge. So, hey.
See what we get tonight. Start the second quarter. Knuckles will hand it off. And look at Parker fighting for every yard he can get down to about the 8-yard line. That's a first down. Call it first down and goal to goal now for Northwest Whitfield. 7th play of this drive coming up after a missed field goal by Heritage. Owen Parker that time popped hard right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Found a big wall and Eli Thacker, also Caden Smith on that. Just, like you said, he just ran into a wall, just stopped his momentum immediately.
And quickly they line up. Looks like we may get a timeout that's asked for. It's an official's timeout.
Yeah, these teams are going so fast, the officials had a hard time keeping up with it there.
Just about 30 seconds elapsed in this second quarter. 7-0 lead. Let's send it to the field. Mackenzie Johnson. Mac, what you got?
You talked about earlier how Robinson always gives the best stories, and he made it a point to come to me earlier before the game and talk about the senior that walked out in the race for valedictorian as well.
And there's Knuckles. Shy of the 10. Give him about the 9-yard line. And again, Scott, we're seeing some shots doled out in this game. That was a player that Mackenzie is talking about for Northwest Whitfield is Jacob Lee, young man that tore his ACL on Saturday against Gilmer and has lost for the year. And as you heard Mackenzie tell you, not only a guy that getting it done on the playing field before that injury, but also getting it done in the classroom, untouched into the end zone. Gavin Knuckles to the corner and a Food City touchdown.
Nice run, well designed, but the biggest thing was all the blockers got their man. Get a hat on a hat, as they say, and you can see it getting a little chippy down there at this point too. So these teams have got a history. It's not a long history because of Heritage just established in 2008. So it's not a long history, but they certainly have had some tremendous games, and Heritage comes in right in a 3-game winning streak as far as the series go. They're pretty familiar with each other, and it can get a little chippy at times.
Extra point tipped up, and it's good. And Northwest Whitfield with a 14-0 lead, 10:39 remaining, second quarter. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Northwest Whitfield put together an 8-play drive. Gavin Knuckles would cap it with a 9-yard touchdown run, and with 10:39 to go in the first half, it's a 14-0 lead for Northwest Whitfield. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. And Scott, we have certainly had our share of big hits already in this game, and one of those things that Josh Robinson talked with us about this week, you mentioned about things being a little chippy between these two. He said he felt like this game was becoming a rivalry, and one of his concerns that he had for his team is you can't let your emotions get the best of you in a game like this.
Right, and that's that's a concern really for both coaches on both sides, and a big part of keeping it together. Not in this example right here. Well, we got penalties first, but because the ball was kicked out of bounds. But how does Heritage respond to this? Because Northwest has been able to run it, down the field in 2 different possessions, get a 14-point lead. Heritage used to scoring a bunch of points too, so they've got to be a little frustrated over there. So if you get, if Northwest gets a stop here or a turnover or something like that, and how does Heritage and Coach Jeremy New respond to that?
Added to the out-of-bounds spot, first down.
Ball comes out to the 36-yard line, and that's where Heritage takes over. 1st and 10 at the 36, fourth possession of the night for the Generals. They have punted twice, and they missed a field goal after putting together an 8-play drive the last time they had the ball. Here comes Slaughter with a stiff arm. Nice tackle in the open field. It was Walker Jones, one of the most improved returning players for Northwest Whitfield, who came up and made the hit.
Walker Jones, a safety, Mr. Consistent. That's the first thing that came out of Josh Robinson's mouth, his head coach. Mr. Consistent, most improved, very active, and what he called a Northwest family guy, meaning his family's come to this high school for, generations and generations. And Walker Jones, the senior, shows you he can come up and make a hit, make a tackle on a play.
Slaughter looking for some room. And Slaughter tripped up. And that was Max Harrison that came in and got an ankle. Able to trip him up a little bit after a short gain. Brings up a 3rd down for Heritage.
Damian Tostado was in on it too. Now you saw Braden Slaughter when he saw that edge and thought this is where the play's going, and all of a sudden those two guys come running. I mean, full speed to that spot. It was hard for Slaughter to avoid those two guys.
Stoker, Fletcher go wide to the top of your screen. Slaughter in the backfield on 3rd down. Here's Height. Takes a shot and overshoots Stoker across midfield at the 40. And this will force a 4th and 5.
Cade Parker defending it.
So we'll see Collette on to punt it away, and he has mentioned the missed field goal that he has, but boy, has he bombed a couple of punts tonight.
He's got an incredible leg. I mean, he's ranked as the number 2 kicker in America. I mean, that's, right here in our Chattanooga backyard. I mean, this guy has got a tremendous leg.
It's away another nice kick, and it's down inside the 30. So after the punt, Northwest Whitfield will take over. 9:01 remaining, first half. 14-0 Bruins. They'll have it when we return. Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. Northwest Whitfield with a 14-0 lead over Heritage. Bruins set to get the ball with a 1st and 10. Their own 26 when play resumes. These live and local games made possible by so many sponsors. I want to take a moment and say thank you to a couple, including Dr. Pepper, Scott's Furniture, Big Woody's Tree Service, CHI Memorial, Food City, HEP Cooling, and the Tennessee Army National Guard. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson at Northwest Whitfield on homecoming. And the alumni are happy with a 14-0 lead.
Yes, they are. They're very happy with that. And their quarterback, Gavin Knuckles, has not disappointed. He's played well. Their offense continues to be hot.
Knuckles with a 52-yard touchdown pass and then a 9-yard touchdown run. Well, he's been involved in both of those scoring plays.
And this Northwest Whitfield team is averaging nearly 50 points per game.
Off the play fake, Knuckles drops it off short. Bates, and Bates in a
run.
foot race.
Wow.
Watch him go.
Woo.
Bates gets inside the 30 to the
Smoking.
25-yard line.
Smoking, man. And if it's not for Hunter Zanity, he may score a touchdown on that play.
49 yards on that run.
Did he look faster the more he started running, the faster he looked. I mean, look at him. He just.
Back to action now. Taking a shot for 6. Touchdown. They go back to Bates. Check that. It was Zarius Davison that made the catch in a Food City touchdown.
Davidson, nice catch. That Food City touchdown here. You know, look at it behind the defender, and that's all it took. Gavin Knuckles finds him, and that's an easy pitch and catch for that guy, for both those guys.
A 2-play scoring drive. Covers 74 yards. Martinez out to attempt the extra point, and he missed it. First game back for him from an injury, and it's 20-0 with 8:29 to go, second quarter.
Missed the extra point, and like you mentioned, first game back for him. They went away from Bo Broderick, who was the kicker on the first 2 extra points, for whatever reason. Look at that. That's a happy bunch of people in that tent. You see how the smiles were? They're loving this right now. But again, that offense has been cooking for the last couple weeks. You mentioned the crazy stat. Coming into this game, 54 plays. In the last 2 games, they've had 54 plays, 11 touchdowns.
Hung 42 points on Gilmer last week.
Yeah. And 20 already, not even halfway through the second quarter. The Aspire Dermatology kickoff.
Martinez to kick it off. Stoker, Fletcher, Cheatwood back deep. And stepping out of bounds after taking it on the hop just inside the 20-yard line.
Student section having some fun. I mean, it's a big night.
Boy, did they go all out tonight? The guys that are painted gold, Scott, I saw them. I thought I had stumbled on the set of like a Star Wars movie, those guys painted gold. I ran into them in the parking lot. And they were already enjoying Halloween.
Oh, I'm sure they were. I mean, it is right around the corner, and we get closer to those with student sections. They certainly like to dress up like Halloween.
Well, and that gold is for childhood cancer. That's a nationwide movement. That's the reason why you see these guys dressed in gold when not normally a school color that you would associate with Northwest Whitfield.
Right.
That's what they're doing. But those guys are having a good time tonight. So first down and 10 for the Generals. Here's Height. Taking his time. He'll sling it deep. Overshot Braden Stoker at midfield.
Taking shots. You can already see the frustration right there on Stoker's face.
Scott,
body language.
We had talked earlier about no Cody Bryant, the all-state wide receiver for Heritage, being out. Dislocated his left elbow against Gordon Lee. Now, they will get him back. There was a thought, maybe, a chance that, there you see Cody on the sideline right there, number 11. There was a chance that maybe we could have seen him tonight. They feel like he's close to getting back, but not able to go tonight. But he has been such a huge part of this offense in the passing game for them. They go back to Braden Slaughter. He gets to the 20-yard line. body type.
Yeah.
He was a soccer player. How'd you like to run into that on the pitch?
No thanks. No thanks. Surely it was a goal. Big as he is.
285.
I guarantee you, first American high school football coach that saw him was like, son, I've got something for you.
That's right.
Guarantee you. Why don't you come to my office and let's chat?
It's good to see Castle up and on his feet and walking off the field. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him return before the evening is over. Been an offensive line that they've been able to play the same 5 guys all season. Jeremy New told us it's a solid group. He said, you know, sometimes on the offensive line in high school, you have to hide a guy somewhere. He said, we don't feel like we got to do that with this group. We don't have to worry about hiding anybody. We got 5 really solid guys that can all play and contribute. Height on a rollout. Incomplete pass. Again, going back for Stoker.
It's like a little miscommunication. Stoker wasn't even turned around looking at the football, and he was the intended target of Height.
So it's 4th down. Here comes Jake Collette once more to kick it away. If anybody can flip the field position with a swing of the leg, it's Jake Collette. He'll get the opportunity. He's back on about, you see the end zone behind him. He's back at the 5-yard line.
Oh, big rush.
Yeah, Northwest came after it. And he gets the benefit of a roll. Foster will down it at the 36-yard line. So Northwest Whitfield with a 20-0 lead. Gavin Knuckles has thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight. He has ran for a score. And this offense has not blinked. They continue their fantastic play.
I thought it was interesting what Josh Robinson told us, and he doesn't like to use the word culture. We hear that a lot in football nowadays. He said, to me, culture is just how close the players are and how close they are to the coaches. I mean, it should be on every team, you know. It's a blanketed statement, but in his eyes, that's what culture means, is how tight are your players with each other.
Gage Parker wrestled down by Caden Smith. Picks up a yard, maybe 2. Call it 2nd down, about 8. Here's a look at Caden Smith, the junior. Along that front for Heritage. We got 6 or 7 guys that'll go across that defensive front. New described them as being a fun, physical group. Said he thinks this is the most fundamentally sound group of defensive linemen that they've had at Heritage.
Edge pressure. Woo! How did he avoid that?
Watch him scramble to the 45-yard line. There comes a hit out of bounds, and there's the flag.
Keeper knocked out of bounds by number 0. There's a flag on the play.
Again, a little frustration coming from the general side. Late hit on Brody James, looks like. But that Knuckles avoiding that pressure from the edge rusher was just amazing. You're talking about just sidestep.
Result of the play is a 1st down. At the play, personal foul.
And it's
late hit, out of bounds. 15 yards added to the end of the run. 1st down.
They'll tack on another 15. And that will bring the football across midfield. Actually, will take it inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Both coaches talk about the need for the big play and the turnover this week and winning that turnover battle. So far, Scott, we've had no turnovers. And if you're the Heritage defense right now, you're thinking ways to be able to get this football back and try to stop this Bruin offense. Parker to the 35 before he's twisted down.
Brody James on the stop. Picks up some nice yardage for Northwest Whitfield.
Second down and 5. Fifth possession of this game for Northwest Whitfield. They have punted only once so far. Quick throw, complete inside the 30, and they'll call it an incomplete pass. He was still juggling it on his way down. It was Corbin Bates.
He had it for just a tick. I mean, that's not long enough to call it a catch and then a fumble.
Yeah, the penalty flag has come out.
Penalty. Third down.
Cheatwood there defensively. Northwest Whitfield, a program that has made the playoffs in 11 of the previous 12 years. One that is enjoying a run of success. Josh Robinson, their head coach, his entire career has been at Northwest Whitfield. He's in his 23rd year at the school, his 15th as a head coach.
Got his 100th win last week.
Yeah, pretty awesome achievement for him. He was really thrilled to be able to do that and share it with his son. His son Paxton is a junior on this team. Here's Knuckles. He's going to take his shot for the end zone. Running under it, making the catch. What a catch by Cade Mitchell.
Holy cow for the Food City touchdown. Cade Mitchell, the junior. Coach Robinson said best hands on the team. I think he showed you why there. He was not much separation from the defender, and he was able to come up with it. Let's take another look. Just, man, Knuckles got a presence about him that creates his own pocket type of thing, and that was what they call drop it in the bucket on the money.
Scott, I thought he was impressive when we saw him a season ago, Knuckles.
Yes.
This is a totally different kid.
Yes, I mean, the confidence is through the roof. Through the roof, man. I mean, and that was just a heck of a play all the way around. His footwork, his arm strength, his accuracy.
They're lining up to go for 2. To get this back to a 4-score game, and we have got a timeout that has asked for by Northwest Whitfield. So 2 timeouts remaining for each side as the play clock was winding down. It was down to 2, so they had to burn the timeout. They try to get the 2-point conversion play snapped.
And you talk about Cade Mitchell, the guy that came up with the touchdown just last week. 4 catches, 170 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Scott, that's efficient.
That is efficient
That's
right
efficient.
there. It's as efficient as it gets.
That's efficient.
You're in the end zone 3/4 of the time when you catch it. That's not too shabby. On the season, 20 catches. Now, this coming into tonight, he's obviously got one more touchdown here, but 20 catches, 415 yards, 7 TDs, and he has got a yard per catch average, just a shade under 21 yards per catch. That is Cade Mitchell, the junior.
So Northwest Whitfield breaks the huddle. They'll look to try this 2-point conversion again. Round this off, make it a 4-score game. Had a missed extra point after their last touchdown.
It's 21 dark. Is that because of some of this Robinson? I think it's this. I'm reading it right.
Knuckles in an empty set. They'll go strong side to the left in that bunch formation, and here goes Knuckles. The race to the corner, sticks the football out, and he's in. The 2-point conversion good by Gavin Knuckles.
Thought the defense had him on the angle there, but just could not get to him. Knuckles is savvy enough to know when to place that football inside the pylon and get the 2 points.
That makes it 28-0 after the 2-point conversion.
It's kind of a bad angle taken by Caden Foster, but I don't think it was maybe not even really a bad angle. It was just the speed that Knuckles has just kind of surprised Caden Foster a little bit on that play.
Well, and you saw a look at the stands there at at Northwest Whitfield. It is homecoming, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school, and the big crowd here tonight. You get a look at that. Quite the scene here.
Yeah, that shows you. I mean, the atmosphere is awesome, and they got the brand new turf last year. Just a real proud community down here in the Tunnel Hill, Varnell area.
Neri Martinez again will kick it off. And Heritage will again have Stoker, Fletcher, and Cheatwood. 3 guys that can all run. Generals need a big play somewhere offensively, as Martinez will pooch it up. Bouncing,
a live ball.
Loose. Somebody's got to get on it, and Northwest Whitfield recovers.
Wow.
Northwest recovers the fumble. Levi Crawford.
Man, I'll tell you, that's a prime example why you use that kind of that pooch kick. It's not necessarily a pooch more than you are trying to put it in a certain spot, let it bounce in front of the receiver, and you might get a fortunate bounce like Northwest Whitfield just did.
Well, and Heritage cannot catch a break, can they?
No, that frustration level may have even seeped into that play by just not, worrying about the scoreboard, not worrying about getting the football and possessing it and getting down on the ground. That's, man, that's tough.
Quick throw up top. It's inside the 20-yard line and inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone before he's thrown down out of bounds. That was Davison that made the catch.
Foster runs him out of bounds. As you said, inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
Under the midway point of the second quarter, Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you on Dr. Pepper. Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI. A couple of 4-1 teams squaring off tonight, and Northwest Whitfield flexing the muscle on halftime or on homecoming. Parker. And Parker stays on his feet and gets inside the 10. It's not just second effort, Scott. I think that might have been third effort or fourth effort.
Yeah, I think the Generals defense thought he was down for a second. It looked like he may have been, but he kept his balance, kept on his feet, spun out of it, and picked up more yardage. First down yardage, first and goal. Let's watch this here. Looks like he's down. No. Hand was down on the ground, but you can do that.
Knee never touched.
He never touched, and he kept on running.
From the 8-yard line. Here goes Parker. Parker is hit in the backfield, and they will try to ride him down. It was Kane Romano at 6'3", 260 pounds, the first one to hit him.
Romano was having none of that. He'd seen Northwest have too much success here. Right straight in the backfield. I mean, he was face to face.
Parker up with a little bit of a limp.
Yeah. It's like you're running into the woods. All of a sudden, there's a bear standing there.
Xavier Villaferte in as Knuckles will throw, and it's incomplete. Intended for Cal Manning. Villaferte will be the guy that will spell Gage Parker. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 4:27 to go. Third down and goal from the 9-yard line. Knuckles puts it up off his back foot. He just has to throw it away.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up fourth down.
And on a fourth down, it looks like Northwest Whitfield will send out the kicking team. It's Bo Broderick.
Yeah, going back to Broderick. Kind of thought they might do that.
This will be a 26-yard attempt from the left hash. Northwest Whitfield trying to cash in after a muffed kickoff by Heritage. And the Bruins ask for the timeout. Northwest Whitfield takes their second timeout of the half. Still have one timeout remaining. Scott, we thought we'd see some offense tonight, and Northwest Whitfield, they have brought the show for sure.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. And they have been so hot lately, it's just crazy. And now you see why there's Gavin Knuckles, why coaches listen to what this kid sees out there. You know, Coach Robinson said, as an offense, we're like, okay, what do you think we can do? He has as much input as any coach out there.
Well, Scott, I think case in point, the last play we just saw offensively, he instinctively knew, I need to get rid of this.
Yeah,
Throw
I've got
it
nothing.
Away. Let's don't turn it over.
Live for the field goal attempt.
Let's don't take the sack. Cade Mitchell will hold. Broderick to kick. And it is up. And it is no good. He missed it to the left. So each team has missed a field goal. And Heritage to get the football back as the Generals look for something good to happen for them offensively tonight.
They need it bad. I mean, real bad.
They have had 3 and outs in this first half.
And it's obviously any team that plays Heritage is going to key on number 7, Braden Slaughter. You really like to be able to kind of put a couple runs together just to get your offense back in sync. But the Bruins have keyed on him so well tonight that he hasn't gotten much.
And here he comes. Slaughter around the left end. He'll find some room on a first down to the 40.
There he goes. Nice tackle by Cade Parker. But Braden Slaughter, when he gets all ready to go, man, he is something special. 5'11", 215, so he's got speed and some power to make some contact like that. That's a clash of two pretty big guys, 5'11", 215 Slaughter and 6'1", 190 Parker coming together.
There he goes again, wrapped up in the backfield now, in trouble, and is not able to shake free.
Levi Crawford, of course, one of the two Crawford brothers. His brother Owen Crawford is the nose guard, 52. He's a junior. Levi Crawford's a senior. And Coach Robinson said, boy, you talk about two competitive guys. Levi is just very demanding of his brother at the nose guard to just make a play. Well, Levi was able to make a play on that one.
Here's Height to throw. Puts it up downfield, has a man, and a catch is made at the 25-yard line. Cohen Fletcher.
What a beautiful catch. Well defended, too, by Max Harrison, but my goodness, Cohen Fletcher shows the hands, maybe even just the fingertips on that one. Let's get another look at it. Great throw by Caden Height, leading his target perfectly. Right on the money, man. What a great catch by Cohen Fletcher, the junior.
Caden Height, the quarterback at Heritage, his dad spent 16 years as an assistant at Heritage. As a matter of fact, his father and Jeremy New were college teammates. Up high it goes to Stoker. Makes one miss inside the 15. Goes Braden Stoker. Ball came out. They're going to say he was down at around the 11, 12-yard line.
Another good catch by Stoker. Damian Tostado with the stop. Here you see they get it out quickly. Stoker makes the adjustment to catch the quick ball.
Quite, this is the drive.
Nice play.
This is the drive. This is what you thought you'd see from Heritage.
Yes.
Stoker's involved. Fletcher's involved. Slaughter is involved. Guys have to step up without Cody Bryan out there who can. I mean, Cody Bryan's the great eraser on both sides of the ball. Here comes Slaughter with a stiff arm and tripped up and dropped in the backfield again. It's Max Harrison who's having a nice night.
He is having a nice night. Max Harrison with the stop there, junior.
Yeah, you know, when you lose an all-state player like Cody Bryant, and it's something that Jeremy New said, he said other guys have to step up now and make plays without him out there.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you get caught looking for who that guy's going to be, right?
And I think we've seen a couple of guys specifically on this drive that have stepped up and made plays. And we've got a timeout asked for by Heritage. That is their second of this first half.
Don't forget the 50-50 raffle. You purchase tickets up at the gate.
They stop it with 1:27 remaining in this first half. Got our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report coming up. Mackenzie Johnson will visit with Jeremy New and Josh Robinson. She'll catch Josh Robinson after his halftime festivities. The head coach, we missed it earlier, the head coach at Northwest Whitfield. It is homecoming tonight. His daughter is in the homecoming court. He is going to take off into the locker room, throw on a suit, and run back out to escort his daughter.
And if you look at the left side of our screen right here on this shot, you see the homecoming court lining up there in the back of the end zone on the track. So, yep, coach is going to be in a suit here in a minute. Look, talk about Superman hopping into the phone booth and changing. He goes from super coach to super dad.
Yeah, he had to, our conversation with him this week, he sent a text and said, guys, I need to push this back, our meeting back a little bit if you don't mind. He said, we've got some homecoming stuff and I want to be there with my daughter. And of course we said, understood, coach. That is no problem. That's Stoker in the backfield now. Here's Height to throw under pressure and down he goes. Coming off the edge, they get him.
Yeah, Stone Hobbs coming off the edge, big pressure there. Also met with Landon Gray was there, I believe. So Stone Hobbs, number 11, the junior, was a defensive back last year, but they've moved him to this outside linebacker rush end, and you see the contact immediately. I mean, he had Height in the crosshairs. Very physical and active type player, and he showed you why on that play.
So Heritage
nice
takes
goatee too.
Oh yeah, Heritage takes their final timeout here with 1:28 to go. Hey, that's been some time now. You don't grow one like that just that quick now.
I mean, he's just a junior too, so
that's been going on since about the 8th grade.
I think so. You're right.
That's been going on since the 8th grade.
You got a beard like that in middle school, and everybody's going to be afraid of you.
Well, after the loss, they move back out of the Dr. Pepper maroon zone, back to the 22-yard line.
About 21 for the Generals.
See it on our CHI Memorial scoreboard. Northwest Whitfield with a 28-0 lead. Defense has thrown the shutout so far. Heritage knocking on the door late in this first half. Height has got some time. Puts it up for the end zone into double coverage and an incomplete pass.
Heritage really looking to put some sort of points on the board here. We know that Northwest won the toss and then deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. For Heritage, you feel like you really got to have something.
So 4th down and long, and here comes Collette to attempt the field goal. This will be a 39-yarder from the left hash for the future Texas Longhorn. The snap is good, and he missed it wide right. Second missed field goal of the half, and another opportunity for Heritage, and the Generals see it slip away.
Tough kick there for Collette. Just came kind of off the right side of his foot. Never really had a chance.
Under a minute remaining now in the first half. 56 seconds set to go.
So those so desperately wanted points don't come Heritage's way. That's a tough one.
We have seen 3 missed field goals in this first half. Nice run there out across the 40-yard line. It was Corbin Bates.
And it's another.
Here goes Knuckles. Empty backfield. Throws it into the dirt. Or I guess the fake grass, as it may be.
Into the rubber pellets.
Yeah.
Brings up second down and 10 for the Bruins.
It's a good-looking field here.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. Real nice. I just like the way the orange and blue pop in the end zone.
They stay in an empty set. 4 wide to the top of your screen for Knuckles. Throws it up high and an incomplete pass.
You had a one-on-one matchup with all that window dressing up top. He had a one-on-one play. If he's able to come up with a catch, maybe you get a spin out and turn and burn, as I like to call it, but he couldn't come up. Corbin Bates could not come up with a catch.
Incomplete pass will stop the clock with 35 seconds remaining. It's now 3rd and 10. And they go on the ground. Here's Parker to the left side. Parker stuffed for no gain. And that may be it for Northwest Whitfield now. They will let this clock run down. And that will do it. First half will come to a close. Northwest Whitfield with a 28-0 lead at the break. Stick around. We got our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report coming up. Get a look at some highlights. Visit with our friends from Dr. Pepper. And we'll also check in with the Tennessee Army National Guard as well. So we've got a lot still to come. And again, Scott, an impressive first half for Northwest Whitfield.
There's no doubt about it. And we talked about Gavin Knuckles and how hot that offense has been coming into this game. Well, they have not slowed down any. They still got it in 5th gear.
Let's send it down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by. She is with the head coach of the Heritage Generals in Jeremy New. Mackenzie.
Coach, one of the keys to the game was to contain Northwest quarterback Knuckles. What adjustments are we going to see on him in the second half?
We got to get. We're not playing clean on any facet of the ball. We're not communicating. We're not getting lined up. There's a lot of things we got to go clean up right now, and it's just. It's ugly football right now. We just got to do some better things.
You still have another half to go. A lot of football left in this game. What offensively, you do need to put some points on the board, though. What adjustments are we going to see then?
We got to hook up when we got guys open. We got to do a better job of finishing blocks. Like overall, we got to just get back to doing what we do better. Right now, it's just not. It's not there. So.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you very much, Mackenzie. Mackenzie Johnson with the head coach of the Heritage Generals in Jeremy New, and you could tell, Scott, he is
that's
a dejected head coach here.
Very
at the
disappointed.
All right, that's our Josh Houston and Associates Coaches Corner. Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report coming up. We'll get a look at some first half action. You're watching Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. 28-0. Northwest Whitfield on top of Heritage. Time for our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. Once again, we're excited this season to have Dr. Pepper with us as our title sponsor. Dr. Pepper committed to giving each homeschool $500 this season for letting us come out and broadcast these games. Let's send it down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson, she's standing by with Kenny Reimer.
Thanks, Chris. Kenny, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Just a little bit of nip in the air. Almost feels like football weather, so it's a good night.
Perfect. What is specifically Dr. Pepper's mission for each school?
So we just want to give each school like the $500 sponsorship. Budgets are always tight. Things are hard. So just to help out with that stuff, just be in the community.
Perfect. Also, how important is it for you as a Dr. Pepper rep to be out here to represent your company and what good it does for the community?
It's like my favorite thing, you know, selling the product, it sells itself, but to get out here in the community, talk to the people, interact with the kids, it's big.
And lastly, what's your favorite Dr. Pepper drink of choice?
My favorite one's going to be the Dr. Pepper in the glass bottle with the pure cane sugar. That's mine.
Perfect. Best way to do it. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie, and thanks to Kenny for being with us. Earlier this week, we had the chance to visit with the Tennessee Army National Guard. Let's take a look. Friday Night Rivals bringing you the best high school football matchups on a Friday night. We also like to take a moment and visit with our friends from the Tennessee Army National Guard for a few minutes. Sergeant Davidson joining me this week. And Sergeant, great to be with you as always. Tell us about the benefits of the Tennessee Army National Guard.
Well, great. Some of the benefits that we have educational benefits. We have the freedom of being able to have a civilian lifestyle and having a military career at the same time. So you can work on the retirement on the civilian side, but also the retirement on the military side.
You can also get some of that education paid for as well.
Yes, as well. So when it looks like, let's just say UTC, you want to go to UTC, well, we help cover that tuition with fees also as well. We don't cover the housing, but we got you on the tuition, though.
Sergeant, great to be with you this week. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
It's always great when we get a chance to visit with the Tennessee Army National Guard. Appreciate them being with us each and every week. It's time for a break. Don't you go too far. We've got our Chattanooga Allergy Clinic Scholar Athlete of the Week. That is coming up. All that and more on the Big Woody's Tree Service Halftime Report.
It's time now for our Scholar Athletes of the Week, sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic. This week's honorees are Madison Sertel and Jacob Lee. From Heritage High School, Madison Sertel. Madison plays volleyball for the Generals. She's a 2-time varsity letterman and a Catoosa Dream Team honorable mention. In the classroom, Madison carries a 3.7 GPA. She takes AP honors classes and is a member of the Beta Club, the National Honor Society, and HOSA. Outside the classroom, Madison has participated in community outreach trips to the Humane Educational Society and Chambliss Center for Children. She also volunteers at volleyball camps and clinics. From Northwest Whitfield, Jacob Lee. Jacob has competed in football, tennis, basketball, and track and field for the Bruins. He's lettered in all 4 sports and has won numerous awards. In football, he's a team captain and first-team All-Region H-back. In the classroom, Jacob maintains a 4.0 GPA. He's in the Beta Club and National Honor Society, and also on the math team. He's been class president all 4 years. Outside the classroom, Jacob has volunteered with the Miracle League and the Rodeo of Miracles, as well as other sports camps. He's also very active in his church. Congratulations to both Madison Sertel and Jacob Lee. Students may be eligible for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. The Scholar Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic.
Back on our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report, it is 28-0 Northwest Whitfield on top of Heritage. Let's take a look at how we got to this point. Heritage with a 3-and-out on their first possession in Northwest Whitfield. They wasted no time. They were a 3 and a 6. It was a 3-play drive, resulted in a touchdown as Cade Mitchell pulls it in from 52 yards out. 10.5 to go in the first quarter. It's 7-0. After a missed Heritage field goal, Northwest Whitfield would come right back. The quarterback, Gavin Knuckles, he had himself a first half, reaching out for the end zone on that 9-yard run. 10:39 to go, made it 14-0, and then Knuckles again, this time throwing it up for Davison in the end zone. That touchdown pass, a missed extra point, though, would make it 20-0, and then following the Heritage punt, Northwest Whitfield once again, Mitchell again. Watch Knuckles find some time, and he will air it out, and look at that catch. Mitchell into the end zone with a touchdown pass, 5:52 to go, and then Knuckles. That would make it 26-0, and then Knuckles says, let's cap this off. Let me reach for 2. The 2-point conversion makes it 28-0. Both teams would again miss field goals late in the second half or in the first half. There is a look at those numbers, and you see just 111 total yards, only 34 rushing against Scott. I go back to the first time we saw Heritage a couple of weeks ago against Ringgold. They had over 100 yards rushing in the first quarter that night.
And it was impressive. Not so much tonight. That Bruins defense is really keying on Slaughter and the run game total, but talk about efficiency, and you mentioned that word earlier in the broadcast. 7 of 16 for 180 yards passing is Gavin Knuckles, and has just command of their offense. I can't think of a better word to describe it. He's just the dude. I mean, it's a gunslinger type mentality, but he doesn't do anything crazy, right?
He is the dude. That should be on a T-shirt. Gavin Knuckles, he's the dude. 180 in the first half for Knuckles, an impressive first half, and an impressive job for Northwest Whitfield with a 28-0 lead over Heritage. It is homecoming. Festivities still going on. We'll be back with you next week here on the CW Chattanooga.
The Big Daddy.
A game of some magnitude locally.
Yeah, some magnitude. The red versus the blue. Baylor at McCallie this year. McCallie coming off this past Friday a big win over Mission Viejo, California, who, of course, was ranked 6th in America. McCallie gets that win. Baylor continues to look fantastic with David Gabriel George as their running back. So we're going to have some D1 prospects. We're going to have some Tennessee Vol commits. We're going to have players all over the field that are going to be playing on Saturdays in a big way. It's just special. It really is. There's no other way to describe it.
We'll have all the action for you here on the CW Chattanooga. Starts at 7:30. You can also stream the game on ChattanoogaCW.com. We'll also be on YouTube as well. So, again, it's special. It's electric. It is unlike any other atmosphere that we go to all season long.
Yes, I mean, it's just the tailgating is so impressive at both schools. But the one McCallie is right behind the home bleachers, and they've got a huge field where they have live music and all kinds of grill. And, the food is just incredible. You can smell it all from up there, and it's just
we got a game with all these D1 commits, and you go to food.
Well, of course.
So
look at me.
I got you.
You got me.
You know that. I'm with you. Hey, look, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
But Briggs Cherry committed to Louisville, the Baylor quarterback, has been special all year long. He is so accurate, it's crazy. About an 80% completion percentage.
Wow.
I mean, and McCallie has turned to kind of the two-headed quarterback, and both of them can run pretty well, and they also throw it down the field too. So just going to be an incredible matchup. Can't wait.
Be a fun one next Friday night. Be with us, Baylor and McCallie, 7:30 here on the CW. Again, if you can't make it over to McCallie for that one, we've got it on the CW. You can also enjoy it on ChattanoogaCW.com and also on YouTube as well. Coming up this weekend, more football still to come. Got a full slate of games for your college football Saturday. Tomorrow, Notre Dame and Arkansas at noon, LSU and Ole Miss. 7:30 tomorrow evening, it's Alabama and Georgia, and then you take a look at what's happening over on Fox Chattanooga. Big noon kickoff with Southern Cal at Illinois, and then Virginia Tech and NC State tomorrow here on Chattanooga CW. And the football continues on into Sunday. With the National Football League, you got the Eagles and the Bucks at 1 over on Fox, and then Monday it's the Bengals and the Broncos at 8 o'clock on News Channel 9.
Monday Night Football.
It's a good one.
Yeah, should be a good one.
It's a good one.
Hey, Joe Burrow got hurt. That'll change, Bengals' perspective pretty good.
That is Josh Robinson, the head coach at Northwest Whitfield. Scott, I want to find the phone booth he hopped into to change that quickly.
Right.
Because, listen, his daughter was the fourth one introduced.
So I thought the same thing. I'm like, she'll be last. She'll be the last of the
that's
group
what
or
I
whatever.
thought. I thought, yeah.
No, I mean, that was just amazing, man, how quickly he changed. And he'll be back into the orange and blue with his Northwest gear on, being the head coach here in just a matter of minutes after the celebration's done.
Yeah, we're going to – when we come back to you here in just a minute, he's going to be back in his coaching attire with McKenzie down on the field. After the game, stay tuned. Penn and Teller and Totally Funny Animals. That's following all of our action tonight here at Northwest Whitfield. Stick around. We'll hear from the head coach of the Bruins. We'll do all of that and more. The Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. We wrap it up. We got our third quarter kickoff when we return. Northwest Whitfield leads Heritage 28-0. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Angel's gonna run it. Case and Angel, first down and more. Case and Angel, midfield, still on his feet. There he goes. He's off to the races, and no one's gonna catch him. Touchdown!
He doesn't see Holloway coming right there. Oh, yeah. Yikes. Lands on his head.
Fourth down, they're going to keep the offense on the field, going to the end zone. This ball's up for grabs. Jump ball, and it's caught! Oh, my goodness!
Yes, it is.
Hula again!
To kind of see how he's doing and figure things out.
A high snap way over his head. Again, a fine play, but he's in real trouble. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, just thrown down. And how about this? It's going to be chalk-all ball inside the Synovus red zone.
Plenty of time towards the end zone. And it is caught. Caught it is. Jarry Moore Stewart with a fantastic catch in the end zone. And it's a Reaper's Revenge touchdown for the Panthers.
To keep the Mules to hold. The kick is up. It is straight. It is perfect. And it is good. And the Mules walk off with the win at Lenoff Stadium.
Just about ready to get this third quarter underway. Northwest Whitfield with a 28-0 lead over Heritage on homecoming for the Bruins. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you from Northwest Whitfield High School, and a 28-0 lead on our Dr. Pepper scoreboard. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Scott, we're going to see Northwest Whitfield get the ball to start this third quarter, and they won the toss. They deferred. I don't know that they expected to have a lead like this coming back out to start the third quarter, but they've got a chance to put a little more separation between themselves and the Generals.
Yes, they do. They'll get it coming out the second half, as you mentioned, and they have just been so hot offensively that they're just feeling it and kind of going with the flow. The confidence is through the roof, and so are the results so far.
Yeah, big first half by their quarterback in Gavin Knuckles. He throws for a couple of touchdowns. He runs for one. He runs for a 2-point conversion. His confidence as a quarterback and his knowledge of this offense has really been on full display. But again, Josh Robinson told us this week about them allowing him to run a little more than they had in years past, and that has made such a difference tonight.
Yeah, it says he says that it settles him down. Right, so just a run or two mixed in there makes him feel better about the past game and gets him into the game, I'm sure, getting hit, and kind of lathered up, as the old saying goes.
Well, Josh Robinson has gotten out of the suit. He's back into his coaching attire, and he's on the field with Mackenzie Johnson.
Coach, Heritage is a team that averages 30 points a game, yet you have held them to 0 points in that first half. What defensively are you doing to keep it that way?
Our guys are really executing our game plan. They're playing hard. They're covering well. We got to continue to tackle well and be disciplined.
A huge night for you, 50th anniversary, also homecoming. What are you going to do to keep your boys motivated into the second half?
I told them Heritage has a lot of pride, and they're a good football team, and we know they're not giving up. We got to continue to do our job and play hard.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
And with
Josh. Collar there.
Hey, listen, Coach had to shed that tie quickly. I bet there's a tie and a coat laying in a floor somewhere in that field house.
Probably so.
I guarantee you.
They win this game, though. There'll be plenty of people lined up to take stuff to the dry cleaners for him.
A win tonight would improve the Bruins to 5-1 on the year. Again, their lone loss was to a good North Murray team back in the second game of the year. They lost 21-13. Since that time, they have gone on to win 3 straight. That game at Gilmer last week had to be moved to a Saturday. So they played on Saturday, and Coach Robinson didn't seem all that upset about the idea of kind of having his week shifted around a little bit. He said, hey, we got another day of practice in. So it's time for our Aspire Dermatology kickoff as we are set to get this second half underway. Northwest Whitfield won the toss to start the game, and they ended up deferring to the second half, and Collette bombs this one right to the 1-yard line. And this is Cummings on the return from the 1, and he gets out across the 20 to about the 25-yard line, and that's where the Bruins will take over. 1st and 10, they start at their own 25-yard line. Kyle Cummings, a great story, a kid that he's the punter, he's the wide receiver, he's a return guy, he'll play some defensive back. He is the player that does not leave the field at Northwest Whitfield.
And you always got to have one of those, I think every good team has and really in a lot of sports, every good team has a utility, a Swiss Army knife, if you will, the guys who can do stuff. We see it platooning in baseball, but in football, same way, especially at the high school level.
Here goes Evan Jones sweeping around the right end, and Jones will slip down the far sideline. Looks like we've got a penalty flag. I think there was only one penalty on Northwest Whitfield.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, still first down.
I believe there was only one penalty on Northwest Whitfield in the first half, so that'll be their second penalty of the night. And this mark-off will bring the football back to the 15-yard line. Just underway in the third quarter, Northwest Whitfield and their quarterback, Gavin Knuckles. He's had a big night. He's thrown for a couple. He's ran for one, has a 2-point conversion rush to his credit. And this offense has continued their hot play. Parker. And Parker is just gobbled up. He was caught from behind before he could even get to the line of scrimmage. It was Caden Smith that got him from behind.
Smith, a junior. 100% effort guy, Coach New tells us, and snipped that one out pretty quickly. That was a great team defense by Heritage. I was a little worried about their intensity level, coming in being down 28-0 here in the second half, but it looks like they've got it back to where it was at the beginning of the game.
Knuckles in trouble, slips away from one. He'll run and gets out of bounds. Well shy of the first down. Picks up 15 on that run.
Does he make that look easy? Does that just me?
No, he does.
My goodness, man.
He does.
Just calm as he can be. Look at the pressure around him. Pressure's breaking down all around him, and he just, okay, I'll run this way. I'll get 15. We'll live for the next down. Just a very impressive young man. Like you said, we saw him last year, and he's even better this year.
3rd down and 5. Here's Knuckles to throw again with some time. Complete. 1st down and more. Cade Mitchell. Far sideline. Mitchell out of bounds at the 30. Mitchell last week caught 4 balls for 170 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. To the 31-yard line.
Logan Cheatwood gets him out of bounds right there. He was still in bounds when the contact was made. That's why you didn't see any flags flying around. But, boy, the jawing afterwards was something to behold. CHI Memorial 1st down.
And a gain of 31 from the 31-yard line. Northwest Whitfield back in business, converting on a 3rd down and 5. Screen up top with a stiff arm. It's Corbin Bates. Bates will pick his way for a couple. This Heritage defense allowing 16 points per game. They're 4-1, coming off a 30-7 win over Ridgeland last week. Northwest Whitfield offensively averaging 42 points a game. They hit their average last week in a 42-28 win on Saturday against Gilmer. Straight ahead, 1st down and more for Parker. Parker gets to the 10-yard line. Inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
Cheatwood on the stop, and like you said, not until he picked up the 1st down and inside that maroon, Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
Bruins quickly back to the line again. It's Parker. Parker caught from behind by Smith and ridden down. Caden Smith got him around the waist and wouldn't let go, and a penalty flag has come out.
Have an illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Scott, I think that may be one of those things that you try to force as a tempo offense when you get going so fast.
Yep.
Makes it difficult on the defense to be able to substitute.
You get caught in the middle there and you get a penalty like we just saw.
Ball goes to the 6-yard line. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter for Northwest Whitfield. Bruins look to cash it in. Parker bouncing outside, and Parker to about the 4-yard line. That is the 7th play of this drive for Northwest Whitfield. It started back at their own 25. They converted a 3rd and 5 on a 31-yard throw and catch to Cade Mitchell.
Parker tried to stiff arm Caden Foster, but to no avail. Foster gets him out of bounds.
Parker still in. They're going to go strong side to the right in a bunch formation, and here goes Knuckles. He can run it in, and he will. Gavin Knuckles with a touchdown.
Food City touchdown, too. Knuckles just has great vision. I mean, we talk about his arm and his poise in the pocket, but also just can kind of weave in between defenders and get the job done on the ground. Let's take another look at it. 2 or 3 guys think that they have a beat on him, but nope. Gavin Knuckles, elusive and one of the hottest quarterbacks in our area going into this week.
6'1", 180 pounds, and a senior in his 3rd year as a starter. Bo Broderick on to attempt the extra point. And Broderick's kick is up, and it is good. That will make it 35-0 Northwest Whitfield. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. 35-0 Northwest Whitfield, starting off the second half right where they finished the first half with another scoring drive. This one an 8-play drive as they take it in from on a 75-yard march. Gavin Knuckles with a 5-yard run. It's 35-0. Stay tuned. Later on in tonight's game, we'll be highlighting our school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson on homecoming from Northwest Whitfield, where the Bruins have the 35-0 lead.
If you have the winning ticket, come up to the press box and they'll meet you at the door.
Just a total offensive performance tonight by Northwest Whitfield. I mean, it's kind of what we expected coming in, but we thought Heritage might answer them a couple times, and Bruins defense just stepped up in a big way too. So they're playing on really all phases of the game really well right now.
Broderick will be the one to kick it off. Heritage set to get the football back. And it's a squib kick. And Heritage had issues with that earlier in this game. They had a kickoff that ended up being recovered by Northwest Whitfield. And that time the Generals wisely cover the ball and fall on it.
Yeah, don't try and be too cute at that point in time, right? I mean, you got to get something going here. I know 35-point lead, but you just need to see something positive.
They're on 31-yard line. That's where Heritage will take over. Their quarterback, Caden Height, in his second year as a starter. And they are looking to try to find a little bit of something offensively. They kind of caught a little fire early on, or later, I should say, in that half. Here's the snap, and the give goes Slaughter to the left side. And Slaughter gets out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
Just give Amos a big hand.
For the Bruins, good to see him up on his feet. Shaking up a little bit, but he'll be all right. It's going to take a whole lot to get him out of the game. He's a gamer.
So Heritage faced with a second down. Just about 3 minutes gone. And Height finds the open man in Fletcher in the middle of the field. That'll be enough for the first down to the 44-yard line.
Nice little play. Patience that Height showed on that, just waiting for Fletcher to get open. And then as soon as he did, he finds him down the seam or down the hash mark. Little seam between the defense, sure.
Well, Scott, look, it's one of those things, and I think coaches will always tell you this. Yeah, it's 35-0, but we still got to run our offense if you're Heritage. Right. You still got to do what you do and try to see if you can claw your way back into this. The screen to Stoker. And a nice job to bottle up Braden Stoker up at the top of the screen by Heritage, or by Northwest Whitfield, rather. They have done a nice job. Those playmakers of Slaughter and Stoker have been, I want to say, contained tonight. They have not let those guys run free and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Bruins defense is focused heavily on those two guys, and rightly so. They're the ones, with Cody Bryant out, they're the ones really that can be game breakers, and if you bottle them up, really present big problems for the Generals.
Second down and 9, and it's Stoker that goes in motion. Now he'll orbit behind the quarterback, and he'll take the handoff. Stoker, and once again, finding it tough sledding. Gets a couple, maybe a gain of 2. We got a player that has lost a helmet there and will have to.
Jacob Weaver.
Yeah, he'll have to come out for a play.
He and Stone Hobbs were just going at it all the way down the field.
Brings up a 3rd and 6. Here's Height. Slaughter stays in. Incomplete pass intended for Fletcher. And ball was, the flag rather, was thrown right at the snap.
Looks like it could be against Heritage.
Illegal formation. More than 4 people in the backfield against the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's twice we've had that call tonight.
Yes, it is. Our referee, Chuck Christopher, keeping everything under control tonight.
Penalties declined, forces a 4th down for the Heritage Generals.
4th and about 6. For him to go to the air, but you never know with Braden Slaughter.
Stoker split out wide at the top of your screen. Taking a shot downfield, just out of the reach of Cohen Fletcher in an incomplete pass.
Everything looked good, just could not connect.
Well, Scott, you know, we have had we talked about the number of possessions that we would have in this game tonight, and we have had a lot. We've had a couple of missed field goals. We've obviously had some touchdowns, but that's the first time we've seen anybody turn it over on downs tonight.
Okay, so again, another great defensive effort on that possession. Defensive effort from Northwest Whitfield.
The Bruins defense giving up 22 points per game, but he told us he thought one of the strengths of his team was their ability to tackle well. And he mentioned that again to McKenzie during his halftime interview, is the fact that they had to continue to tackle well and get guys on the ground, and that's something this team has been able to do. Here's the toss out to Parker, and Parker tries to go around the right end.
Speaking of tackling well, that's Cooper Chapelier. Number 4 for Heritage with a nice form one-on-one tackle of Gage Parker, who's not a guy that's easy to bring down.
Knuckles again, hands it off, looking for some room is Parker. Parker gets to about the 41-yard line. This is a team that in Northwest Whitfield that a lot of folks around it feel like this is a deeper team this year compared to some of the teams they've had the last couple of years. We've talked about, having 6 guys on that defensive front.
And that's
that they will rotate through, but it's that way they feel like at all their positions.
That's the thing about Northwest Whitfield. They've always been an offensive, high-flying, put up a bunch of points type of team. But now that it seems like their defensive side of the football has really been a priority, their linebackers are a whole lot better. And as you mentioned, their defensive backs are the strength of the defense. So really that's the difference in my mind this year as opposed to years past.
Knuckles takes off. He's got the 20 to the 15. Into the Dr. Pepper maroon zone and out of bounds at the 18-yard line. And he does it with the legs again.
Look at him. I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, no celebrating. He didn't get up. And, it's just like, okay, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. Run it. Don't even get hit. First down. We move the chains. Nothing shocking here. It's just what we do.
Empty set here. They go 5 wide from inside the red zone. Knuckles, quick throw, complete to Manning. Manning to the 10, to the 5, and he's bumped out of bounds.
Once he broke that tackle from Caden Foster, if you watch this again, the pump fake to the right is the key on this because the defense freezes for just a second, then he comes back to his left and finds the open receiver in the little area in front of the linebackers.
Hey, we've thrown out some stuff about Northwest Whitfield tonight and how prolific this offense has been and all this. Let me just throw something at you, Scott, as a guy that has followed this game now for a long time at the prep level in our area. Here's the give. Parker going to try to muscle his way. He'll bounce it out and score. Tried to run through the defender instead said, let's try something else. Bounced it outside for the Food City touchdown.
Impressive run by, actually I thought Gage Parker, but that's Xavion Willafuerte, who we saw and talked about a little bit earlier. I think he is kind of Parker's guy that spells him, but you see he's got some talent too. As you mentioned, going to try and run over him, then he just bounces it out to the outside, was able to get in the end zone and get a touchdown.
5:14 remaining in the third. Villafuerte.
I was expecting a lot of things, but 42-0 is not one that I expected when I was coming down to Tunnel Hill, man.
I'm with you. Broderick with the extra point attempt. It's 42-0. 5:18 remaining, third quarter. Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. Back to Northwest Whitfield after this. Northwest Whitfield impressive on homecoming. They celebrate the 50th anniversary of Northwest Whitfield tonight in the Bruins. 42-0 on top of Heritage. 5:18 to go in the third. Next week, we got a big one. McCallie hosting Baylor. We'll have all the action here on the CW Chattanooga starting at 7:30. You can also stream the game on ChattanoogaCW.com, and you can find us on YouTube as well.
Bunch of 300-pound linemen and
bunch of really fast guys.
Yeah, a bunch of really fast guys and a bunch of players that are committed to some big-time schools.
I was going to say, we'll have a bunch of guys that next year we'll be talking about them playing on Saturday on ABC and the CW and News Channel 9.
No question, man. That Gabe Osenda, who's a tackle for Baylor, is 6'8", 340-something pounds. I mean, he looks like an NFL player right now.
Martinez's kickoff goes out of bounds. All right, look, I want to get back. We had a touchdown there, and we didn't get to this, but let me throw some Northwest Whitfield quarterbacks at you here for a second. Luke Shiflett, Owen Brooker, Gavin Knuckles. Those guys all multi-year starters. And, Scott, I go back the first year you and I did this.
The ball we placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
First year of Friday Night Rivals. Pretty sure Luke Shiflett was the quarterback.
I think so,
because we
too.
were at Ridgeland.
Yep.
It was Northwest Whitfield at Ridgeland.
Yep.
Luke Shiflett was the quarterback that night. And then later on, we saw Owen Brooker, we saw Gavin Knuckles. And I know this isn't the case, but I'm telling you, it feels like it's been those three guys for about 15 years.
It does. It really does. And all three were fantastic. All three almost the same type of player because they were so good.
Look at Slaughter breaking tackles to the outside to midfield before he's finally pushed out of bounds.
They were so good, but yet they were so poised in the pocket and just kind of had the same mentality. I mean, they've been running this same offense here at Northwest Whitfield for quite a long time, and those three guys were masters of this offense.
When you think of Northwest, what do you think about? Do you think more about those quarterbacks, those three guys we just mentioned, or do you think about the bevy of defensive linemen they have had, because it seems like they've always had that in Isaiah Mack.
Yep.
That went on and had a fantastic career with the Mocs.
Sean Young that played at Tennessee back in the early 2000s.
Yep.
Honestly, I think about the quarterbacks, and I think that we're
too.
going to see a bunch of points on the board every time we come here. It feels like it. You know, last time we had Heritage and Northwest, it was a last-second play where the receiver made the catch and made the run for the touchdown for Northwest win there.
And we were here, right?
We were here, yeah. That was right. That was when they had before they had the turf.
Yeah.
It was muddy a little bit that day, and so it just seems like offensive performance is what I think of every time I think of Northwest Whitfield.
They are taking a look at this play. I believe this is they are not taking a look at the play. Oh, the ref got hit. That's what so they're taking a look at the ref.
He's getting his bearings back. Good to see him smiling, that's for sure.
Heritage had a ball first and 10 from the Bruins 46-yard line.
Everybody's set. We're ready to go. Heritage from their own 46-yard line. Back on the ground. Slaughter met right at the line. He gets maybe a yard before he's wrestled down over on that far side.
His helmet pops off, so he'll have to come out.
Levi Crawford that stepped up and made that stop.
They'll replace
gain of a yard.
Replace him with that freshman running back, Cole Pritchett, 31.
Pick up a yard on the play, brings up second.
Getting late in the third quarter. And we could have a mercy rule in effect in the fourth. We could get a running clock. It depends on maybe how Heritage does on this drive and what our score is going into the fourth. Pritchett joins Height in the backfield. Aiden Height sets up. He lets it go. Downfield incomplete. He had Stoker running wide open. Stoker had beat his man by about 5 yards, and Height instead tried to go down the middle of the field. And an incomplete, and there you see Braden Slaughter coming back in.
And you see Height, hands on hips, and just been frustrated by this Bruin defense all night long.
One turnover tonight for Heritage. It came on special teams. Jeremy New said he didn't feel like they had played a clean game all year, and he used that same terminology talking with McKenzie going into the locker room at the half. Out come the flags. And we've got a timeout that was asked for by Heritage.
Timeout. Heritage. Sideline warning. Northwest. That's their first.
Heritage was able to call that timeout before the flag came out. I want to take a moment here and say thank you to some of our sponsors: Dr. Pepper, Aspire Dermatology, Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, KC Custom Docs, Josh Houston and Associates, and TVFCU. Thank you for making Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial, possible here. Glad to bring you halftime. Now on homecoming from Northwest Whitfield. There you see the part of the homecoming court.
Is that the cheerleaders that are on the court, so they're down there in their dresses? Okay.
I think so.
I like it. Once a cheerleader, always a cheerleader. You got to show that school spirit.
They got a lot of class reunions going on here tonight. Again, it is the 50th anniversary. 5 wide. They're all grouped up at the top of your screen, and we're going to have another timeout, I think, that is asked for.
Northwest.
Northwest this time
That's their first.
asked for a
Second half.
timeout. So both teams take the timeout. Northwest gets a look at that Heritage formation, and they want to talk it over then. Again, Northwest celebrating 50 years of Northwest Whitfield. Former players back for dinner with their families tonight. want to remind you to stick around here on the CW. Following the game tonight, we've got Penn and Teller and Totally Funny Animals. That's following our action here at Northwest Whitfield. Start taking a look ahead for Northwest Whitfield. They have Lafayette next week, an improved Rambler squad. And then the following week, on October the 10th, Calhoun will be here.
You talk about the measuring stick there. It's Calhoun, the defending state champs.
And then you go at Adairsville on the 17th before the 24th against Ridgeland to close things out. Height back to throw. Puts it up over the middle. Incomplete off the fingertips of Cohen Fletcher.
Well defended. I mean, that's all you can say. Kyle Cummings just was on, right there running with the receiver. Ball comes towards his hands, and he just puts his green gloved paw up and knocks it down. Nice play, Kyle Cummings. We'll get another look at it. 6 feet tall, 160 pounds. Just steps right in front of the receiver and knocks it down. Intended receiver, Cohen Fletcher.
For Heritage next week, it's Gilmer and then a bye week before they get Lafayette over in Walker County on the 17th, and then Calhoun at home and a road trip to Adairsville to close things out on Halloween. 4th down, Height under pressure. He'll scramble, throws on the run, lofts it up, and it is picked off, intercepted by Kyle Cummings.
Yeah, Cummings again. The junior defensive back all over the receiver. Height couldn't get it over his head. And Kyle Cummings comes up with a nice interception. Most of the time, Coach told us that Kyle Cummings is going to get that number 1 assignment.
And how about the season Kyle Cummings is having? He's returned an interception for a touchdown. He's taken 4 kickoffs this season, back for scores.
Wow.
Averaging nearly 38 yards a punt coming into tonight.
I just love this collection of athletes that Northwest Whitfield has. They do a little bit of everything, and obviously we've been talking about, Gavin Knuckles a whole lot, and rightly so, but you got so many other players around him. This is kind of shaping up to be a special team.
Here's Parker, and Parker can motor. Parker hit and out of bounds, but not before he picks up some big yardage. It was Cooper Chapelier that got him out of bounds after the 33-yard run. 43 yards,
wow.
Excuse me.
You called it too, Chris. I mean, look at the speed coming around that corner. Guys flying at him.
Quick throw, tipped and caught. Pulled out of the air by Evan Jones. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Jones was able to snag it. There's a look at Jones. We saw him get a handoff earlier on a jet sweep. One of the fastest players on this Northwest Whitfield team. It is that kind of night, though. Homecoming, ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, ends up right in the hands of your receiver.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
you're living right.
Yeah.
Coach is in the homecoming court. I mean, you got everything going on.
Knuckles from the pistol goes back to Parker. Parker inside the 30, caught from behind and pulled down. It was Hunter Zanatti that made the touchdown saving tackle. And Scott, we saw Logan Stevens has been tremendous, a multi-year starter on the right side of that line. And he was the guy that was leading the way through the hole. Look at big 78 right there.
Yep, he's looking to hit somebody, and he did. Nice blocking by Logan Stevens and the entire offensive line for Northwest Whitfield. They're just dominating tonight.
From the general 26-yard line. Here goes Parker. Parker inside the 10-yard line. Back into the Dr. Pepper maroon zone goes the Bruins of Northwest Whitfield. Parker gets to the 9-yard line. That'll set up a first down and goal to go.
Another look at it here. Just great vision. Follow his blocks and get it downfield as much as you can. Stays in bounds. Keep the clock running.
Under 2 minutes now to go in the third quarter. The CHI Memorial first down. The Bruins with a first and goal. Looking to put the exclamation point on this third quarter as Parker gets snuffed out for a loss back at about the 10-yard line. Brody James among those on the stop for Heritage.
Yeah, that's a big hit for that Heritage defense.
Tucker Hayes in on it as well. We saw some tempo early in this game from Northwest Whitfield. Now the Bruins slowing it down a little bit. Play clock is at 6 as they get to the line. Parker inside the 10. He'll just push the pile to about the 7. And we are under a minute to go. Scott, you talk about it all the time. Look at the leg drive and leaning forward on Gage Parker.
Coach even talked about it, just falling forward like that limits negative yardage, and he's super good at that.
Villaferte is in, and Knuckles will throw for the score. Over the middle, he hooks up with Cade Mitchell. That's the second of the night for Mitchell. And a Food City touchdown.
Again, makes it look awfully easy. Knows who he's going to. That time, Mitchell was open. But if he hadn't been open, then he knows his next progression, his next, and he's just, Gavin Knuckles, just cool cucumber, man. He is cool under pressure.
Neri Martinez on to attempt the extra point. And Northwest Whitfield has had the ball 3 times in this third quarter, and they have put it in the end zone all 3 times. This was a 28-0 game at the half.
Now, illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men in formation.
They'll talk it over with Josh Robinson and see what he elects to do. They'll move it half the distance to the goal, and here we go again. Martinez's kick is up. Man, it is good. It is 49-0 Northwest Whitfield on top of Heritage. And again, Scott, I don't know that any of us pulling in here tonight thought we would see this.
No, I sure didn't. Wow. I mean, just a complete domination by the Bruins in every aspect. Obviously, defensively with a pitch and a shutout, but running the ball. From the ball, receiver play, blocking, receivers blocking downfield. I mean, the whole thing. It's mighty impressive.
That is 5 touchdown passes tonight for Gavin Knuckles. He has a rushing touchdown. He's ran for a 2-point conversion. He has had himself one whale of a night at quarterback.
So 5 TDs tonight. That puts him to 19 total for the year. And that's against 1 interception. 19-1 on that ratio.
As impressive as I think anybody we have seen, and for that matter, maybe anybody we will see.
Broderick will be kicking off for the Bruins.
Bo Broderick will kick it off. Squibber. Gets all the way through, bobbled. Oh, what a hit. Braden Stoker dishing out some punishment as he sprints out across the 35-yard line. Looks like they're going to mark him down at about the 36. And with 12 seconds remaining in the third, that's where Heritage will take over. Been a rough night for the Heritage offense. They've been plagued with penalties. Look at that hit.
Jeez. He just caught him perfect underneath the face mask there.
Generals have turned it over twice, including an interception on their last possession. They work on the ground out to the 40-yard line. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Third quarter comes to a close, and it's 49-0. Northwest Whitfield leading Heritage. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. We've got the fourth quarter when we return. We open up the fourth quarter, Northwest Whitfield with a 49-0 lead over Heritage. We do have a mercy rule in effect for these final 12 minutes, so the clock is only going to stop after a score for a timeout or an injury. So this fourth quarter should go pretty quick. Heritage on the ground. It's Isaiah Awatula, and Awatula gets stopped for a loss, becomes now third down and long. Well, Scott, I guess it's not too early. We can, not that we haven't mentioned it already at halftime, but we can start to look ahead a little bit for what's to come next week here on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals.
It is an incredible spectacle. It does not matter where, if it's played at Baylor or at McCallie, but it's just one of those. The atmosphere is just crazy. The student sections are crazy.
Nice play on the ball.
Nice
that was
play.
Cade Parker. Made a great break on that ball and broke it up. Well, I look forward to the fireworks show.
Yeah, the fireworks. I mean, you got all the old men alumni that are just chewing their fingernails off because they're, they've been out of school for 50 years and it still matters to them, a bunch. It's you can't beat it. I mean, I don't care. You can take me to Plano, Texas, or wherever you want to take me to, and I'll guarantee you I'll put Baylor-McCallie atmosphere and the rivalry and let's face it, the hatred for each other is just incredible. It's second to none.
And we have been, as you see Collette on to punt, we've been to both places multiple times now. We've been to multiple trips to McCallie for this game. We've had multiple trips at Baylor. And there was a time that was played at Finley Stadium.
I know, right? And I was the one that said, man, you got to keep this at Finley. You want to see 15, 18,000 people be able to see that. I don't think I was right. No. I think it's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. Yeah. Both these campuses, are absolutely busting at the seams. I have to walk about 5-6 blocks to get there.
About noon?
That'll be me. I'll be sliding in late and park on that one of their soccer practice fields. It's 2 miles away. But wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh, no.
It's special. It really is.
Always a fun time. We're going to see a lot of second-teamers here in the fourth quarter. That's Villaferte on the carry for Northwest Whitfield. Bruins had the ball 3 times in the third quarter. They scored on all 3 possessions. It was a 28-0 game at the half. That's Carter Collins, who's in at quarterback now. He's the freshman. Gavin Knuckles is done for the night after a heck of a performance.
So we're going to see Collins for the next 4 years, you think?
Oh, geez.
You think he'll be in that line of great Northwest Whitfield quarterbacks?
There's Villaferte. He'll show off the wheels. Gets out across the 40-yard line. Look, that is an amazing run of guys who were all fantastic quarterbacks that Northwest Whitfield. You go back to Luke Shiflett and then Owen Brooker and then Gavin Knuckles and all those guys could play. We get a flag on the play here, but
I want to say Luke Shiflett ended up at MTSU, recruited as a quarterback, but they moved him to wide receiver, did they not?
Sounds right.
I believe that's correct.
Yep. And did he not end up back in the Southern Conference to finish out his career?
15-yard penalty. First down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Northwest Whitfield.
See, that's what I thought. We had a Mox game.
With Furman, wasn't it?
Was it Furman where he ended up?
Yeah, I want to say. But yeah, he ended up as a wide receiver. And Owen Brooker was a fantastic high school quarterback here. And then, who knows what the future holds for Gavin Knuckles. But again, it's 6'1", 180. There's going to be an opportunity. There's an opportunity waiting for that young man somewhere at whatever level that may be.
That's the thing nowadays, and I talk about this all the time, but you're 6'1", 180 pounds. If somebody just gives you a chance and you do well at that level, you can transfer up and you could be, the stairs to being big time as far as the big time level of college football are there for you.
Yeah, I think you and I have had this conversation before. It doesn't matter where you start.
Nope.
Not anymore.
Matters where you finish.
That's right. And if you go somewhere and you prove yourself, you're going to get that opportunity. Or you may go somewhere and prove yourself and find yourself a home and you don't want to leave.
That is true, too.
Which does happen. They're going to keep it on the ground.
Depends on what that NIL money says.
Well, that's...
Sorry, I know.
That's
it's
true.
It is true.
It's the nature of the beast.
As much as sometimes I wish it wasn't. A lot of times I wish it wasn't, but at least these guys are getting paid something nowadays because that's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and work.
Collins comes over to the sideline and gets the play. And Collins on the keeper. He gets a yard up to the 35, brings up a 4th down. We are halfway through, almost halfway through this 4th quarter with a running clock. Mercy rule in effect. Northwest Whitfield. They stepped on the gas early, and they have not let up. Scored on their first possession, and then had a punt on their second possession, and then 1, 2, 3 straight possessions with touchdowns to make it 28-0 at the end of the half, and then 3 straight possessions resulting in touchdowns in the 3rd quarter, and that's how we got to this point. Delay a game penalty. Back it up. And we'll see Kyle Cummings on to punt it away. Is this the first time we've seen Cummings? This is the first time we have seen him punt since back early in the 1st quarter. Second possession of the game for Northwest. Last time they had to punt. 5:14 to go. 49-0 Bruins in command. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Let's take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. Here's our school bus stop of the game. This was on a drive that Heritage had put together. They had gotten into the Dr. Pepper maroon zone, and look at Stone Hobbs from that weak side backer position coming off the edge, recording the quarterback sack. And that is our school bus stop of the game. a guy that missed 2 games with an injury to start this year, but has played well since coming back from that injury. He's had a good night tonight. Under 5 to go in the fourth quarter. We've got a mercy rule in effect and a running clock. Northwest Whitfield on top of Heritage, 49-0. Chris Goforth alongside Scott McMahon. Mackenzie Johnson is down on the field. She'll be handing out our Dr. Pepper Champions belt after this game is over. Sweeping around the far side, getting the first down and more on that carry is Cole Pritchett. And the freshman showing he can scoot. Both coaches playing a lot of young guys right now at this point in the game. Pritchett stays in. And here he goes again. Spinning out of one tackle. Works out across the 40-yard line. Cross Williams in at quarterback for Heritage. Mention the Northwest Whitfield. They're at home again next week. They'll welcome in Lafayette, while Heritage will be at home next week against Gilmer. Pritchett caught from behind and slung down for a loss. That was Trenton Powers that made the stop for Northwest.
Good to see some of these young guys get in there and play.
This will be career victory number 101 for Josh Robinson. Picked up that 100th career win last week against Gilmer. We asked him about if there's one of those wins that stands out. He pointed to a win over Stevenson in the playoffs as the most memorable. Williams on the rollout. He'll throw. Finds a man across the 40-yard line. And for Heritage, you start to feel like the Generals would really love to see Cody Bryan come back from that elbow injury that he suffered against Gordon Lee. And
yes.
Get him back on the field. Look, he is such a catalyst for this offense. I'd love to have him out there to see what he can help them generate for an offense that has been pretty good. Again, his team averaging 30 points a game offensively coming into tonight, and just been absolutely stymied by this Northwest Whitfield defense as Cross Williams gets chased out of the backfield.
Northwest holds them. They'll take over first down and 10.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest. This is shocking to me. This Northwest Whitfield defense pitching a shutout against Heritage. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is just mind-blowing to me. I'm so impressed with what they've got going on. Clearly, offensively, they've been phenomenal for years, but I mean, this defense is something special.
They have certainly done a great job tonight, and they will get the football to end things here.
And for them, what a great night to do it. Celebrating the 50-year anniversary of the school opening, homecoming. I mean,
that'll keep the alumni happy, right?
Yeah, I was going to say a ton of alumni here, jam-packed with fans, and it's just been the best night Northwest Whitfield could have dreamed of.
And nobody has left either. They are all here. Here's the snap and the knee, and that will get it going.
You have both bands taking the field at the end of the game, so
there is your ball game. 49-0 Northwest Whitfield on top of Heritage. Josh Robinson with a hug of his son, Paxton Robinson. The head coach got to escort his daughter on homecoming. You're right, Scott. I don't know that it gets better than all of this tonight, the way it unfolded for Josh Robinson and his Bruins.
I guarantee if you'd have told him it was going to be this way, he'd have, okay, I'm on board, 100%.
He might have told you were crazy.
I probably would have.
Stick around. We got Mackenzie down on the field. She will be checking in with the winning head coach in Josh Robinson as we wrap it up here from Northwest Whitfield. We've got our post-game report when we return. You're watching the Dr. Pepper Friday. Crisco fourth, Scott McMahon. Mackenzie Johnson down on the field with a winning head coach, Josh Robinson, as the Bruins pick up the 49-0 win at the half. Mackenzie?
Coach, one of your keys to the game was offensively be consistent. How do you think that your boys are achieving that goal tonight?
I was really proud of our guys. This is probably the best that we've played all year, a complete game, because they're good. I know we made it look like it wasn't the case, but our guys played really well, and we got some pretty talented guys over here too.
Another key of the game was limit big plays on defense. Not only did you do that, but you held them to 0 points tonight. Talk a little bit about how your defense did tonight.
I thought our front seven it took a little bit to get going and apply pressure, but we were able to apply pressure, make the quarterback uncomfortable, and our DBs did a really good job, as our guys say, it was strapped up.
A huge win tonight, homecoming, 50th anniversary, also coming off of your 100th win as a coach. You also you walked your daughter out. You made a quick change, walked your daughter out for the homecoming court. What did it mean tonight to get this win? And really, you're really Northwest.
It's about these guys. I love them. They're where we spend all our time and what I care about. It's why I stayed here. It's why I'm till the day.
Thank you, Coach. And one last thing, boys. Here you go. You're going to open it up.
Oh, they found the belt at Northwest Whitfield. They have found the belt at Northwest Whitfield. A fun time on homecoming for the Bruins tonight. Let's get a look at our player of the game. And who else? It's got to be the quarterback, Gavin Knuckles. What a night he had.
Incredible.
Throwing the football for the touchdowns. Look at that, 282 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions on the night. He had a rushing touchdown as well. He also ran for a 2-point conversion. There's the rushing touchdown. Slips into the end zone for the score. He also had the 2-point conversion run. He had himself one heck of a night leading that Bruins offense. Now, there's a look at some statistics from this game, and you see just how dominant. Look at the total yards, 542 tonight for the Bruins and 172 for Northwest Whitfield. 2 turnovers for Heritage, 7 penalties, and look at time of possession. For a team that wants to play fast and play with tempo, they held the ball for almost 22 minutes.
They sure did. I mean, it was just an impressive overall dominance tonight by the Bruins.
Well, let's get a look at our Scott's Furniture scoring summary. As it was early, it was often. Maybe a little bit of a slow start, as you heard Josh Robinson mention in his conversation with McKenzie. But, boy, once they got it rolling, 21 in the second, 21 in the third, as they roll to a 49-0 victory. And now we can turn our focus to next week. It is Baylor going on the road against McCallie next Friday night, Scott.
They will both be ranked in various polls.
Nationally?
Even nationally, yes. So we've seen a little bit of that last week, too. So we'll get all the details on that, of course, this week and bring it to you Friday night at 7:30. But, again, atmosphere and just the whole top-level players, top-level coaches. I mean, it's just as really the quintessential matchup in the state of Tennessee. I mean, these two have been the 2 powerhouses in Division II AAA, which is the highest classification.
That is the measuring stick for sure when it comes to high school football in the state of Tennessee. We've got it for you, 7:30 next Friday night here on the CW Chattanooga. You can also find us ChattanoogaCW.com and on YouTube. I want to say a special thanks to both of these head coaches for giving us some time this week. Had a good time talking with both of these guys. Best of luck to both of these teams going forward. Scott, look forward to it. Save me a parking spot next week at McCallie.
You'll be there before I do. You save me a spot. Going to be awesome.
Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible as well. For Mackenzie Johnson, Scott McMahon, I'm Chris Goforth and our entire CW crew. This has been Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.